This was the portfolio that I had after 1 month I started investing in Canadian dividend stocks. At that time, I only have around 3,000 Canadian dollars account value with $8 unrealized gains, zero dividend, and zero money hourly salary. And after 1 year, this is what it looks like now, with over $3,000 total gains in 1 year, which compose of nearly $600 dividend income. Hello and welcome to my channel. I plan to record my journey towards financial independence and retire early in this channel. Currently, I mainly focus on sharing my Canadian dividend stock investment journey and those stocks in my portfolio. This is the way that money works for you and generate more money. In the future, I will also add contents introducing products that saves you money. So if you are interested in these topics, hit the like button to let me know. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification to get the latest update. And now, let's get started. In February 9th, 2021, I deposit my first cash into Wealthsimple Trade and start my investment journey in Canadian dividend stocks. After 1 year, my total account value have reached over $36,000 with a total return of around 10%. Within this 10% total return, around $600 are my dividend income. And let us do some simplified estimations here. With this year, the starting amount is $36,000. And if I keep investing in this portfolio for 10 years, and let's just assume and each year we will have an annual return of around 10%. And since the TFSA contribution rule every year is $6,000, and let's just put $500 at the beginning of each month, and let this portfolio to compound. You can see here, after 10 years, over half of my portfolio actually comes from the interest that I earned from my portfolio, not actually my contributions. After 10 years, we will end at nearly $200,000, where around $100,000 are just the total interest. That is very appealing, isn't that? And what if we keep investing for 20 years? It could be over $600,000. And 30 years? Over $1.6 million. That is how compounding works. Another metric that I have for my portfolio is the money hourly salary. And the money hourly salary of my portfolio have reached $1.56 per hour. This means in the past entire 1 year, every working hour, my portfolio have generated $1.56 for me for doing nothing. And in today's video, I would like to share with you the full breakdown of my portfolio, as well as how each of the stocks have performed after 1 year. I totally have 10 sectors in my portfolio, with 3 sectors that takes the major positions. The top sector in my portfolio is ETF, which takes up around 40% of the entire portfolio. And the second one is real estate, taking up around 18% of my entire portfolio. And the third one is financial services, which takes up around 17% of my entire portfolio. And these 3 sectors combined have taken up over 75% of my entire portfolio, while the rest 25% are shared by utilities, industrials, consumer defensive, healthcare, energy oil and gas midstream, basic materials, and communication services. And if we look at the performance of my stocks in my portfolio, after 1 year, the top 3 stocks are first SU Sanker, which bring me over 30% return in 1 year. The second one is TD, which brings me around 24% annual return. And the third place is WSP, which brings me 22% annual return. Currently in my portfolio, I totally have 31 stocks, and I'm planning to shrink the number down under 30 within 2022. And now, let's see how each of the stocks have been performed after 1 year for me. And for most of the stocks in my portfolio, I have made videos introduce them. If you are interested in any of the stocks I mentioned here, feel free to check out my channel to watch their introduction videos, and I hope those videos will be helpful. After 1 year of investing, I totally hold 50 shares of AQN, Algonquin Power and Utilities, and so far I have lost around 9% on it, with a dollar value of minus $90. I hold 6 shares of ARE, which brings me a negative 4% annual return, and I lose around $4 on it. And this stock takes up around 0.3% of my entire portfolio. I hold 38 shares of ATD, which is up nearly 18% after 1 year, and I have gained over $300 from it. And so far, it takes up around 6% of my entire portfolio. I hold 9 shares of BMO, which let me also gain around 18% after 1 year, and I gained around $200 from it, and it takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. I hold 14 shares of BNS, which brings me over 13% annual return, and I have gained over $150 from it, and it takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. I hold 12 shares of CM, which has brought me over 16% annual return, and I have gained around $300 from it, and so far it takes up around 6% of my entire portfolio. I hold 30 shares of DOC. This is not a dividend stock, it's a small capital growth stock with a huge risk, and so far I have been nearly 70% down from it, and I lose around $50 from it, and it takes up around 0.06% of my entire portfolio. I hold 5 shares of ENB, which brings me over 18% annual return, and I earn around $40 from it, and it takes up less than 1% of my entire portfolio. I hold 2 shares of FN, which brings me around 3% annual return, and I gain around $3 from it after 1 year, and it takes up less than 1% of my entire portfolio. And I have 42 shares of GRN, which is also a small cap growth stock that does not give any dividend at all. And I have done around 50% on it, lose over $40 from it, and it takes up less than 1% of my entire portfolio. I hold 6 shares of HCLN, which is an ETF that tracks the clean energy. It has been down over 30% in the past year, even though I believe clean energy is the future. But probably when I bought this ETF in February last year, the holdings this ETF have are just overvalued, and I have lost around $40 from it, and it takes up around 0.2% of my entire portfolio. I hold 110 shares of HR.UN, which brings me around 6% annual return. I earn around $80 from it, and it takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. The gains here did not include the dividend, and for most of the REITs that I bought, I'm more looking at the dividends that they pay me monthly other than the capital gains. I hold 13 shares of MFC. After 1 year, it's around 3% up, gaining me around $10, and it takes up less than 1% of my entire portfolio. I hold 11 shares of MRU, which is over 13% up. I gained around $90 from it, and it takes up around 2% of my entire portfolio. I hold 11 shares of NWC, which has been up around 2% in the past year. I gained around $7 from it, and it takes up around 1% of my entire portfolio. I hold 83 shares of NWH.UN. It is up around 3% in the past year, bringing me around $30 in capital gain, and it takes up around 3% of my entire portfolio. I hold 56 shares of SRU.UN. It has been up around 5% in the past year, gaining me over $80, and it takes up around 5% of my entire portfolio. I hold 11 shares of TCL.A, which is around 6% down in the past year, making me lose over $13, and it takes up less than 1% of my entire portfolio. I hold 11 shares of TD, which has been over 24% up in the past year, and gaining me over $200, and it currently takes up over 3% of my entire portfolio. I hold 4 shares of TFII, which is around 2% up after 1 year, gaining me around $9, and it takes up around 1% in my portfolio. I hold 98 shares of VFV, which is around 5% up in the past year, and it brings me over $400 return, and it takes up around 30% of my entire portfolio. I hold 45 shares of VGRO, which was up around 2% in the past year, gaining me over $30, and it takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. I hold 20 shares of GDNP, the third small cap growth stock that does not give any dividend at all. After 1 year, it's around 40% down, making me lose around $10, and it takes up around 0.04% of my entire portfolio. I hold 16 shares of Sanker SU, which is up over 30% in the past year, gaining me over $140 and takes up around 2% of my entire portfolio. I hold 6 shares of QQC.F, which is up around 6% in the past year, gaining me over $40 and takes up 2% in my portfolio. I hold 45 shares of T-Telus, which is up over 13% in the past year, gaining me over $160 and takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. I hold 7 shares of WSP, which was up 22% in the past year, gaining me over $200 and takes up around 3% of my entire portfolio. I hold 82 shares of REI.UN, which was up around 6% in the past year, gaining me over $100 and takes up over 5% of my entire portfolio. I have 60 shares of QQC, which was down around 3% in the past year, and making me lose around $35 and takes up around 4% of my entire portfolio. I hold 10 shares of CP, which was up around 2% in the past year, gaining me around $20 and takes up around 3% of my entire portfolio. Finally, I have 28 PMZ.UN, which was spun off from HR, and so far it is around 2% up, gaining me around $7 and takes up around 1% of my entire portfolio. This summarized how my portfolio performed in the past 1 year. I'm personally happy with this result, as I definitely earned a lot than put the same amount of money into a savings account in a big bank. And throughout the year, I also learned a lot about stock market, and hopefully let's keep this annual return and even get more annual return in the coming year. I hope that by showing you that my 1 year real life experience in stock investing, it can help on you to make a decision on whether to start investing or not, to investing in dividend stocks or not, and what percentage of return that you can anticipate if you start investing. If you feel this information are helpful, please don't hesitate to subscribe my channel, turn on the notification, and hit that like sign. Thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. If you are looking for zero commission fee investing platform, I recommend you Wealthsimple Trade. If you are looking for instant money transfer between friends, then Wealthsimple Cash will be the right platform for you. Need a high interest, no fee saving account? Have a look at EQ Bank. It offers higher interest than any of the big 5 banks and has no banking fee. Additionally, if you are looking for great credit cards, I recommend Brim World Allied MasterCard and the Neo Card. I personally use them and enjoy the cashbacks they have to offer. More details about these cards can be found in my channel. And if you use my referral links in the description, you will get referral bonus for having these great products. Thanks again for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video.